What do you think has happened, at least domestically, in the last week or two?
I'm not going to say that the situation in Texas has had a big impact on the oil market. It has had a very large impact on basis markets, the local gas markets in the region, absolutely explosive prices there. So micro, very important. It's had significant impact. Macro, it's not that large. You've probably lost 1 million barrels per day of crude production, but you've also lost 500,000 barrels per day of demand. So the net is, it's a modest tightening. I think what's going on, and you look at the rise in oil prices up through this, almost all that rally that you're referring to happened before this event. And there's really, I think the big key thing we're talking about, going back to our comments a month ago, is that demand, the levels were revised up for the fourth quarter of last year, meaning activity and demand was much better than we thought. Inventories grew a lot faster than we thought. And as a result, the market's in a bigger deficit. And I think that's the reason why we're at $65 a barrel. And then the other thing is positioning. You'd think it would be long. Everybody's, reflation trade. They're long copper, they're long everything else, but not crude. Why? Because like us, we thought this thing was going to tighten in the second half of next year, and it's tightened a lot earlier. So they can get long now.
Right. I'd love to get your view, at least just for a moment, on the Texas episode specifically, though, as it relates to any commodity you cover. Do you believe this is going to raise more long-lasting questions about systemic risk on the grid, or is this more episodic, happens every decade, regulators take a look and we move on?
No, I think as we move to a world that is more dependent upon renewables, that do not have the flexibility to respond without having adequate gas capacity, volatility is going to be we saw it in Europe this winter as well. So this is not isolated to the Texas market. It's happening on a global basis. And I think what we're going to do is you just have to create more capacity and more reliability in the system. So seeing this happen, after you saw it in Europe earlier this year and you're seeing it here, is an indication, hey, we need more reliability in the system.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.